Hello everybody, and welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I am Nikki, and I am here to just make some, do some crafting with you guys. We're gonna make some tags today. I am starting a new project here using Tracie Fox's, a couple of her kits, but the base kit that I'm using for these journals, pardon me, will be her Compendium MK3 kit, which I am absolutely in love with. These pages are fantastic. I've printed them all out a couple of times. I've backed them with the backing papers. They're just, it's beautiful. So this is going to be just kind of, it's not particularly themed. It's just kind of some beautiful randomness out of my stash, and using this as kind of the base inspiration. I love how these compendium kits have just a variety of, they have floral elements in them. They have kind of darker and labels and just vintagey looking stuff. I just love the way that this kit lays. So we're going to be using that as the base kit. I've already cut out and made some of the elements up. I've cut out and made the little file folders and made up the envelopes. Yeah. So I've done a bunch of that work already. I've cut out the pile of tags right here. And then I am also using, so I'm going to set that aside because we won't actually need that today. I'm also using Tracie's Bumper Florals kit, which is also super fantastic. And I'm using her really random color labels set too. So I've got them all cut up and chopped up and laid out by color. And then I've got just some of her real old standard. I use these all the time. I always have a couple sheets of these cut up. So I printed one out and cut it up here. And then I also have her random numbers. So I've got some of those because this is all great fodder for what we're going to be doing. I love how the MK2 or the compendium kits just kind of have a layered master board feel to them. And so here is my basket O tags. So I was going through after I finished up my last project, which was the needle books, and now I am back working full-time at the school, just to try and, you know, be a help in our community. And so I haven't been able to craft as much, but I have found that doing smaller little projects kind of in between, and when I'm, you know, feeling good on a weekend or something, I was kind of cleaning up. Long story short, I found a whole bunch of master boards, like big 12 by 12 master boards that I had made while this was like probably a year ago or something, while I was cleaning up and doing some scrap management. And so over the course of a couple of days, I sat and chopped those things up into tag bases. So I now have, and then I cut them down into tags and I rounded the corners. I've got some huge ones, and they are all just random, right? Random tags, tag shapes. There's some that have just, that were more like text. There's all different color schemes. There's some blue ones. There's a music ones. This was covered with, this was a bunch of really brightly colored papers. And then I covered that with a layer or two of sewing pattern paper. So yeah, I've got this stack. I've got enough tags, and I've given some away even, and I still have enough tags to last me for a very long time. And we're not going to make all these today because this would be the longest video in history. But I've got them all in one of my rag bowls here. And I thought that we could just start making some. I have been, another rag bowl with tags. So these are some of the ones that I've already done. So I've been using the elements from Tracie's kits to layer up and make these tags. And then Some of them are sewn around. I've also been using, I've got a big basket full of Tim Holtz stuff that I just realized I haven't really been using in my last several journals or projects. So I've got a bunch of sheets of the little letter stickers and stuff. So I've been using some of those on here, and they work great as like collage fodder. So here again, I've layered up some of the Tracie's pieces, bumper florals on there. And then these are folded and wrapped around to the back. Here's another one. I had just a random piece of, I don't know, it's a strap off of like something, and it's got little metal pieces in it and stuff, so I kind of just sewed it across the top of this tag, and that's got some little pieces of Tracie stuff. It says Good Fortune. Here we go again. This is layered up, some of the Tim Holtz words. I also have some of the Tim Holtz florals. I've got my stamps out. I've got a big envelope of random stamps, so I've got that out because those make great, you know, fodder in the background. So yeah, this one's got some thread bunched up behind it, and that's one of Tracie's little labels. This is some of Tracie's bumper florals and some of her labels. So you get the idea. This is kind of what I've been doing. I've been just slowly chipping away at my pile of goodies. And the tags, of course, the pile of my tags has not gone down at all. Using some of my Tim Holtz people, I realized I had way more of the Tim Holtz people than I thought I did. These are some of Tracie's pieces here that are just folded over the edge. And then one last one. Here's one of her bumper florals on the front of this tag with this lovely lady. I also got this old lace. It's like a collar off of a shirt that someone had cut off. I also have some like Tim Holtz rub-ons from that are way, way old. So I'm using some of those too. So there we go. Those are my examples. And I'm going to put those in my basket and move them aside. And I think we should just start working through this. I've got all my pieces of Tracie's kits cut out, and they're right over here. Look at this pile of fussy cut flowers that comes with the bumper florals kit. And then I've got a bunch of these little elements. There's like a sheet of circles, there's a sheet of squares. These things come with Compendium Add-On. I've got some like journaling card pieces that I've been using, and I've got this pile. Again, these work great, so you can kind of see how the pieces of the Compendium kit look kind of like my masterboard tags. So when you add one of these on, it just carries the theme of this Compendium kit right onto those masterboard tags, and then I can kind of turn them into, you know, whatever. Then some of them have these lovely florals on them, and then there is a bunch of florals here too from bumper florals. So again, there's no way we'll be using all of this today, but it is all at my disposal. They are all options. So let's pick a tag to start with. See, there's some like long skinny ones I made. Let's go with that one. I like that one. I like this one. So the first thing I'm going to do, and they're all backed with different things, but most, I think when I was making these, I was making them with the intention that I would be able to, use the backs of them as they were, because now this is really thick, so I wouldn't want to have to back it with something else that would make it even thicker. And since the goal of these is to go in a journal, I don't want them super thick. I'll try to remember, if I can, to look up that original video of me making these masterboards, and if I remember to, I'll link it in the description down below. So what I have been doing is, if I want to sew around it, I've been sewing around it first, and then I can layer the elements over the top. Some of them I've been doing like a real messy sewing, and some of them I've been doing a more, you know, nice job of sewing. I'm looking at my bin here of I've got also over here a bin of random pieces of like fabric cutoffs and stuff. This is kind of a thicker, it feels like the edge of a pillowcase or something. But I think that would look lovely at the top of this. So I'm going to cut a piece off, because as I sew around the tag, I'm also going to sew this onto the top. Yeah. So I will go, I think I'll do messy sewing on this one. And I'm just going to go sew around and I'll be right back. All right, there we go. We've got some sewing around the tag. I just kind of went around messily. And then what I'm going to do is use my blush brush, and I like to just kind of go over the edges of where I've sewn. I'm not even dipping it in the ink right now, because what I'm trying to do is just, you know where you get the little, it's hard to show it on camera, but when it punches through paper, you end up with those little fuzzies, you know, on the back side. And I like my back side of my tag to look just as nice as the front side. So if you just dust it with some ink like this, it just kind of takes those fuzzies down a notch by putting some ink on there. Yeah. I hope that makes any sort of sense. I believe this paper here, some of this is Tracie's as well. That was on this master board. All right, I've got my coffee. And I am still working on my coffee. I also have some of Tracie's tags, and I thought if any of these seem to fit, this one's too narrow for those, but I also have smaller ones, and thought we could look at some of those as fodder for, and maybe, you know what, maybe we'll do a pocket on one and stick, so these smaller ones would work good as a pocket inside of a tag. So we're going to skip that for on this one, but let's go with, since this is a pretty basic background, let's add some flowers. I'm going to rip along the top and bottom. So I'm just going to go work on this. Let's chat. Let's see how you guys are doing. How you been doing? I hope you're doing well. Here in northern Minnesota, we have we have definitely past peak autumn colors, which is my favorite time of year. And now everything is just kind of settling in for a long winter. The other day we had about a foot of snow, and that was a little nutty. I like how there's this red kind of leaf down here, and then we've got floral up here. So I'm gonna say I like that up there. Let's layer some other stuff. We got about a foot of snow. It lasted for a couple of days and then disappeared. It all melted because it got warm again. Now this weekend it's supposed to be like 70 at Minnesota. This is our weather. I like that there because I like the blue. I like how it ties in the blue. Still in a couple of spots, like back by our wood pile where the sun doesn't hit very much, you can see that there are still a little bits of, maybe we'll layer that on there too, snow where it didn't melt all the way. My mom came over and whacked out all of my, yeah, like that. I like the blue there. That might be enough. But I also like the folding over the edge thing. So let's see. This has some floral in it and some blue right on top. I think we'll go with that. And I'll show you what I mean by the folding over the edge thing. Yeah, so cold, and then now today we have, it's lovely. I actually have my window open. I know I've said this before on videos and people are like, oh my gosh, if it was only that many degrees here, I would never have my window open. I'm going to do this all kind of over on this side because I like to keep that there. So I'm going to say I want to do this, and I want to be able to see that blue part on the front. So that'll be folded over like that, because I've also been trying to do just a little something on the backs of these tags too, because I often don't give the back of the tag enough attention, and I just kind of assume that it's for, you know, writing, which it is, but there's no reason why the back of the tag can't have something fun as well. There we go. So that's kind of fun. And then I'll probably come with either a little label here. So that's kind of yellows and greens. And we could just put one of the random, this would help carry that blue from the front. These are the little random number things. I actually, can you guys hear that? I have my window open, which is just nuts for this late in October. Normally not a thing. But it's lovely outside this morning. It's brisk, but we've got our wood stove going. We've had it going for a while now. And so it's nice and toasty in here. I've got my coffee. I've got like multiple candles burning because it's that time of year. And I'm kind of just loving this brisk morning. I don't mind a little bit of the brisk air coming into my studio. Soon enough, it'll be dark for more than half the day, basically. And there'll be cold and snow and all the things, so you kind of have to just take advantage of even just the little bit of brisk morning that we have. It's MEA weekend, so even though I'm filming this on Friday, we don't have school. We didn't have school yesterday or today. MEA is Minnesota Education, and there's a big conference that happens for teachers and stuff. And so I don't have to work. Joy, my younger one, doesn't have to be in school. And my oldest, who both now works at a school, she works at the school over in the next district, and she also, I think these words are too close to the base color of this, so they would just get lost. So I'm going to go with maybe some black words. These are Tim Holtz's too. This is, let's see, Tim Holtz Small Talk. That's what these are. So she doesn't have to work, and she doesn't have college classes. So if you're lucky enough to be different, never change. There we go. And I'll show you what I do with these. Like the longer strips here, I don't just put them on. Like you can definitely snip these into shorter strips. So I'm going to snip them so I can kind of fit them here. If you're lucky. Trying to decide if I want to put all of it down here. Enough to be different. Never change. Yeah, I think I'll put them all down there. I am going to, of course, ink the edges. I know this is the most fiddly thing ever, but it bugs me that they have, you know, even though it's black, you can see these bright white edges, so I have to ink. And then I'm going to glue them down because I don't trust the adhesive on this. I've had these for a while, and even though it feels pretty strong, I don't trust it over the long haul, you know, putting in and out of a pocket or something in a journal. I want them to stay on there. So Lizzie, our well, she'll be 19 next month. That's crazy. She went with her friend, and they went, she's never gone on like a solo vacation, and this was her first solo vacation. So she and a friend of hers are over in Wisconsin. Her friend has never been outside of the state of Minnesota, so they decided they wanted to go to Wisconsin since we're fairly close. So they're in they found a resort in some tiny little town, and they have been there for 2 nights now, and they're loving it. They're going on little adventures. And yeah, as I am chatting here, I can see that coming through to my family group chat. So I had to pay attention. I have glued these on in the wrong order before, and then all of a sudden the sentence makes no sense. Like, if you're lucky enough never change to be different, I suppose, like, depending on how you read that, it could work, but I would just prefer to put it on there in the way that it's supposed to. So pay attention and don't be chatting while you're trying to put your cut up phrase on your tag. There we go. All right, cue it. If you wanted to, you could do something like Mod Podge over the top, but I mean, I don't need to be doing that's doing the most. I kind of just like it matte like this, all with the, you know, different layers of stuff. So there we go, with the front and back of yet another tag. And at some point I might come and add bulb pin with like a little charm or something on the ones that have fabric topping. Who knows? Depending on where it goes in the journal and how much I want to, you know, bulk it up or not. Let's do another one. Should we do one with a dark red base? Why not? That's very different. And then some of them are on this like white. So what I was gluing these onto was, when I was making the master board, I was trying to use up not only my scraps, but I was also trying to use up 12 by 12 paper that like I have in my stash that I will just never use. And some of it's just, you know, I don't know. You know, sometimes you do those random buys where you go, oh, it's such a great deal. And then you buy it and then you just never, ever. It's not my aesthetic. It's not something I would ever use. So yeah, that's what I was using up, and I did a good job. But some of it's white backed paper, and I don't usually do too much of the super bright white, although I am trying to embrace just being able to use white and off-white. But what I just did, if you don't know, is take my big makeup brush, tap it very lightly in my ink, and then swirl it on to just kind of, you know, grunge it up on the back. I think I will sew around this one too, but let's look for, you know what, let's do one of these kind of toppers, because we're going to need to lighten some of this up because this is very bright and dark. And if you look at compared to the kit, it's not that dark. So we're going to have to bring some pieces onto the front of this to try and, you know, lighten it up. So in the Compendium kit, you get these little mini, I don't even know what to call them. They're like little rounded corner design boxes. I'm going to use one. This one's got some red in it, so we'll go with that. And then I'm going to just fold it in half to be like a tag topper. And I will ink the edges of that. So yeah, as I'm sitting here talking, my phone is dinging, and it's our group chat, and Lizzie's sending pictures and stuff of her. Yesterday they went and saw some beautiful waterfall. Okay, yeah. I think, do I want to sew over this, or do I want to put it over the sewing? I think I might want to put it over the sewing because I want to see all that. Yeah, I'm going to go sew around this, and then I'll be back and we'll decorate it. All right, we'll swirl around the edges. There we go. And then I'm going to glue this little tag topper on the top. So while the rest of us are home, well, actually my husband is leaving tomorrow for a gig in Nebraska. He's driving down there. He's a jazz musician, in case you are new to this party. My husband, well, he does cybersecurity architecture during the day. So by day, he's a computer nerd guy. But then in the evenings, by night, he is a super cool jazz musician. So, and then he goes around gigging. So he took off this long weekend with us since, you know, he's one of those guys that always ends up with so much extra, it's going to be too big, but I could tear one in half and do a couple parts. Yeah, let's do that. This one's got some red in it, so I like that it's carrying this theme along, right? But it's not like super overt, so we can bring in some of that lighter. So now I'm trying to decide, should I fold it over or should I tear it in half like I was thinking? Or I could cut it and then do the other half down here. Or do I do this? I think I'll do this, fold it over, and then do something else down here, maybe a big floral. But let's ink it the edges first. So he's going tomorrow to a gig, and that leaves then just Joy and I. And she, so Joy, our youngest, who is 15, I put dreadlocks in her hair. So my daughters are biracial, and I put dreadlocks in her hair when she was 2 years old, and it was the most adorable thing. And we loved them and embraced them for many years. But then when she turned 13, she just decided, I mean, they were at that point, from the years of 2 to 13 years old, they had grown down to almost her waist. Like just, and I had to give her an undercut. We had to cut about 30. I made them real skinny when I installed them. So we had to cut about 30 of them off at some point because they were, her hair, her ponytail was like this big around. I'm not even lying. So it was getting to be too much. So, and heavy, it was heavy. But we loved the length of the locks. You can cut them, but we loved the length. So at one point I cut off a bunch underneath and gave her an undercut. And that was, you know, that worked great. Let's see if we can do a, yeah, a floral. I like that too. That's lightening the tag up. Now we're making it match a little bit more with the kit, right? We're taking some of that crazy brightness off. I'm going to, again, because when I fussy cut these on the days that my hands are actually feeling good, I go and leave a little bit of a bumper around the edge. So then I use my, but then you can also see the bright white here, and I want to tone that down just slightly. So I use my makeup brush to kind of brush around the edges to dull them down a little, or age them, or whatever you want to call them, grunge them. And then I'll just swirl it over the top where the white parts are slightly, like this, just to kind of, there. That just takes the like bright whiteness off, because I use the printer paper I use is a very bright white. So this takes some of that edge off too. So we'll do this right here, and maybe I will wrap the edges of this flower around. Yeah, I'm going to do that. First though, I'm just going to grab it. So I'm going to pinch so I know kind of where to glue to. And we'll lay that down first, and then I'll fold it over and glue. So Joy, dreadlocks, back to the story. So she has now decided, the one nice thing about dreadlocks, so when we cut them out, she decided when she's 13 that she was ready for a change and wanted to try something different. So plus I think you're supposed to every, you know, decade or so, it's not a bad idea to cut them out and to kind of give your scalp a little bit of a break, and your hair and stuff, and then just restart them if you want to. And so I said, okay, even though it made me really sad because I really did love her dreadlocks. You know, I'd always said it, when you guys are old enough to maintain your own hair, you can decide kind of what you want to do. And she decided she wanted to do that. There, I like the way that this just kind of looks wrapped around. I think it just adds some interest to the back of the tag too. So I'm going to make sure that's all pressed down well. And I'm going to ink the edge of that. Okay. So she had decided that she was ready to be done. I'm going to look for not a red tag. Maybe we'll try to have some, I don't know, does green do, that's too much like Christmas. Maybe we'll do a black and white something or other. I kind of like that 1903. Yeah, we'll do it like that. So she cut them out and we brushed them out, and she had hair. So when we cut them out, we brushed out the last part of, you know, we cut them very short, maybe down to like 5 inches long. And then we just tried to comb out the top portion. So she'd have like a, just kind of a teeny weeny afro. And that worked well. So she had hair about this long, and then I just kind of trimmed it. And it's been growing out now, but, and it's cute. It's totally, you know, it's a Joy style, but she's in sports, all kinds of sports. She plays sports all year long. And the nice thing about the dreadlocks were the way that I do them, the interlock method. They're like wash and go. You can put them in ponytails, you can put them up and all that sort of stuff. And in the sports that she plays, they often do things like wear matching ponytails and volleyball and stuff. So I think we're going back. So now that we have, but it's going to take a long time to install dreadlocks again. It's going to take several days. So we started last night because I said, hey, let's just take advantage of this long weekend and get them in. So we started last night. I have these little Tim Holtz rub-ons, and this little hand guy was floating around in there. So maybe I will just put him. It was just laying over there, and I thought, okay, maybe that should just go on here. Go on the edge of them and just kind of come onto the white part too. We'll see how well that rubs on like that. Who knows? So we started last night, and I've got the bottom maybe like quarter of her head done. And boy, it's going to take a while, but I'm excited to have her dreadlocks back. It's going to take a while for them to grow. I mean, it takes, you know, years and years, but the nice thing is she can wake up in the morning and not have to worry about them. They literally just exist on your head. You don't have to brush your hair. You don't have to detangle. Like, she's used to having to wash and detangle and put all the products in and do all the things now. So she's kind of ready for that, like, you know, wake up and go thing too. Joy's very low maintenance that way. So the dreadlocks work well for her. This is like, okay, it's going. Cool. Then I just go over it with my finger. So these come on big sheets like this, right? So there's a couple sheets in there. I don't even know if they still sell these. These are called remnant rubs, and you just cut out the little pieces that you want to put on here. I don't even know, but there we go. The back of the tag's got some interest. The front of the tag's layered up. I call this one done. Moving on. Let's find a little bit bigger one here. That one's bigger. And it's got a little lady on there. Oh, there's another one hiding. This one's to be next. So we've restarted Joy's dreadlock journey. Maybe I'll try to show you guys in a little short or something what her hair looks like. And I'm excited. It's, you know what's so funny? Things you don't, oh, this is another bright white background here. As I'm putting them in, yesterday, I was like, what the heck? They look so skinny. But then I remember, oh yeah, they get fatter as you go because it captures all of the hair that like normally would fall out of our heads all day long, all the time. Dreadlocks, it doesn't fall out. They're like, it's captured in the lock itself. So you don't, they get, as you grow them, they get wider and wider. And I start them very skinny because we like the way that they look thinner like that, because then we can braid them and put them in ponytails and do all kinds of things. Should I cover her up? Should I bring a floral element? Oh, let's see, how big are these tags? I mean, we could do that. That actually fits on there really well. Why not? Let's do it. Go big or go home. These I've already inked. So I think what I will do is, oh, maybe I can we make a side tuck? Let's do that. How big does that go in? Yeah, let's do that. Let's make a layered up. We'll use that one since it's the first one I grabbed. Maybe, so like I was saying, maybe I'll try and remember to, in one of my upcoming videos, I'll show you what her hair looks like. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is go sew the top edges like this, and I'll leave this side open. Then I probably will sew around the edge of the tag too, just, you know, because. Then maybe we'll put I've got some of these little tabs from Compendium Add-On, and we can use one of them as like the pull. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go, little scrap, I'm gonna go sew, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I've sewn around the edge, and then you can see where I sewed the pocket on, so I'm just going to dust. All right, and there's what the front looks like. So hopefully this fits in there well. It does, perfect. So let's pick out a little, we'll go with that one. The nice thing about doing this kind of thing like this, with all of this collaging and stuff, is honestly with Tracie's kits, with the pieces that she's got in there, because they have such a variety of colors and a variety of like elements, florals, vintage pieces and stuff, you can really, it's kind of no-brainer. They mix and match so well. You don't really have to worry about if things go together too much. So if you're just wanting to like do some mindless crafting like this, you just want to sit and do some things, her kits are great for that. And like you see, they're working really good with my master board tag things. All right. That's awesome. That works perfect. I feel like taking another sip of my coffee, honestly. All right. I feel like this part up here needs some words. So let's look at maybe one of these. I'm also trying to just embrace the randomness of some of these random quotes. I used to try and, well, I mean, and sometimes, again, in some journals, I'm actually making like a theme, and so then I try to stick with it. But this is trying to not be a theme, so I'm trying to just embrace taking random things and putting them on random tags. Although some things on these actually seem a little bit too sad. And of course, I'm not finding one right now, but and if none of them speak to me right away, change. Next. Here we go. One today is worth two tomorrows. Although, I don't know. Tomorrow might be really amazing. What if you're waiting for something amazing that's supposed to happen tomorrow? Okay, so this seems like it has natural breaks for me. One today is worth two tomorrows. Oh, you know what this also reminds me of? Today is my Craft with Me and Nikki's random stream of consciousness. I hope that my stories are actually like getting completed and making sense. I'll probably watch this video back and be like, what in the world was I even talking about? Oh, man. Oh, I just got a little thing popped up on my phone that says, here's how hot the temperatures are going to get this weekend. I have discovered that one of the, well, I kind of knew the teachers, one of the English teachers at school. So our school here is pre-K through 12th grade, pre-kindergarten. So we've got like 3 to 18 in our building. And I think the biggest class we have, well, the pre-K is big, but that's because there are, several different levels down there. But they're just in one room. And I think our biggest class is probably like 20 kids, like literally class level, so 9th grade. I think I'm with some 9th graders during the day, and I think there are 13 kids in the whole 9th grade. So we're one of those schools that is very tiny, and it's not just our town of 155, but we draw from several smaller communities around us. Okay, I like how those words kind of just go up there and add some more. I like how the stickers, these Tim Holtz stickers, are a little bit thicker, and so you can actually, you can tell, and I don't know if you can really tell on camera. Camera never picks up the true reality so well, but you can tell that they're kind of up off the page, and I like that. I feel like when this pulls out, it should have something on it. So let's look at some of these. These are little dealy bobs that come. Oh, I like that one, and it kind of goes with the pink here. Oh, maybe we'll do one of those and then one of the circles. When I do this, when I mismatch all my kits together like this, when I do 2 kits together over here, I don't ever remember what comes from what. I know these are from the Compendium Add-On, but I don't remember if these are from Bumper Florals or the Compendium Kit. Honestly, I don't remember. So I figured out one of the English teachers, that's where I was at. One of the high school English teachers, we have 2, and the one of them is actually a journaler as well. She makes like altered books, and she does them with her kids. I think in 7th grade or 8th grade, they actually make like an altered book. They learn how to sew one together, or they do some version of an altered book to, I think the end goal is that it is their journal for the year. And I think that's awesome. It brings such creativity. She brings great creativity to English. Actually, both of our English teachers are excellent. The other one is like the godmother of book recommendations. She has a huge library in her room, and she's so good at recommending books for kids that they will love. My Joy, who was before we moved here, she hated English. She hated reading. She would never read on purpose, ever. And we got here, and she had Miss Plots and absolutely fell in love with reading. And now she's out in the Yep, I'm going to put one of these little random number guys. She's out in the great room right now working on homework, and one of the pieces of homework she has is to make a one-pager. Just, it's like a kind of a glorified book report with some art and stuff too, because the elective she chose to take this year was novels, where they literally just read novels. I couldn't. Lizzie and I both love to read. Ade not really at all, but Joy not so much, but now she loves reading. So our two English teachers are excellent. So the one of them that makes journals, there we go. Now I like how these pieces go together. And when you pull it out, there's some interest and there's some hidden journaling space in here then. And that just hangs out nice. And I don't know that I really need much else on here. I'm trying to figure out if I want to put some sort of tag topper. Let's see what I got over here in my bin of goodies. Let me pull a few things out. What's this? What's this? This is some sort of, it's like silk ribbon, vintage silk ribbon, but it's got this pink in it, which I kind of like. Do I do that? Do I maybe punch a hole and just tie this through kind of on the corner? Because then if I clip this in, this and this could kind of hang off the edge of the book page. Maybe I'll do that. I don't need too much of it. Let's put a cut on the other end here. So she, the other one, came over and hung out in my studio and looked through a bunch of journals, and she looked through some of the, I have a big basket, excuse me as I reach, I have a big basket of stuff over on top of my one of my bookshelves that has a bunch of stuff that you guys as my subscribers have sent me, and I absolutely cherish and adore that thing. And I look through it. My daughter Elizabeth loves looking through it, and sometimes after that's over by my cozy chair in my studio where I sit and do my Bible study too, and sometimes I will just be drinking my morning coffee and flipping through that basket of little bits and bobs. I love them and I cherish them. Things that you guys have sent me. So she was looking through that. She was looking through some of my journals, and we were just having such a delightful time. And so now I have a journal buddy that literally lives like a block over and a half a block down. Yay! I've never actually had a live, real, in-person person near me. You all are my journal friends, and you all live all over the world. So, all right. I like that tag. I think we maybe have time to do one more. Let's just, oh yeah, this one. This guy wanted to be next. So once I shut off my camera, I'll just keep working on, you know, going through these tags. I think my goal is to, I want to try and repurpose some Reader's Digest covers that I've got. I've kind of amassed a small little collection of Reader's Digest. So when I was printing out the kit pages of Tracie's kit, I tried to make sure that I printed them the size I wanted to go into Reader's Digest covers. So I think I'm going to try and make 2, but maybe I'll make more. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It always ends up being more because I always make way more ephemera and everything than I actually need. Maybe I'll even just make, I don't know, if I end up making so many tags, maybe I'll just end up doing something creative like a tag book or something. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to go sew this and I will be right back. All right. I decided on this one to add some of this like lace collar, you know, embroidered collar thing that I have. It has some lovely little florals on it. And then I came down and decided to do some little vine stitching along the bottom edge there. So this one is definitely asking for some sort of floral element, and we will indulge its request. So let's see. Those are all going to be too big. Do I go kind of like this little pink in the background? We could echo that with that pink. I like that. I've been loving working back at the school. I forgot how much. I just started subbing and really fell in love with it. And I forgot how much I actually just really loved being with students. And so I said, you know, I think I want to go full time, and interviewed and got the job, and have been really loving it. My first week, you know, there full time was homecoming week, so it was dress up days. So I got to pull out all my fun dress up clothes. What did we have to do? And you know, every day there's a theme. Do you guys do this too in your schools? Your kids, did they do this? Every day is a theme. So like one day was pajama day. That's fairly innocuous. Then Monday was Adam Sandler day. So I was like, what the heck? How do you dress up like Adam Sandler? So I went online and literally did some research, and it was like, basically you just dress like a slob. The man looks like a slob all the time, even though he's like a multi-million-dollar, you know, actor guy. He just kind of looks slobby. I'm kind of wondering if I want to do another fold over the edge thing. Kind of up and, well, maybe back over on this side. Oh, I kind of like the way that looks. So Adam Sandler day. Then country or country club day. So Joy and I dressed up like we were going to go play tennis at the country club. And then, what was Wednesday? Country or country club. Pajama day. School spirit day. What is the one I'm forgetting? Anyway, we had to dress up. So it was kind of fun. My first week back, I didn't even have to wear normal clothes. I got to wear comfy clothes all week long. So Monday I just dressed like a slob in the baggiest sweatpants and flannel I could find. That's, I guess, what Adam Sandler aesthetic is. Then Tuesday we dressed like we were going to the country club. Oh, Wednesday was class colors. So each class, each age level was assigned a different color. And it was anything but a backpack day, which was pretty funny. Some kids had little, you know, those little like Fisher-Price toy grocery carts. Yep. One of the girls had one of those. Joy brought a laundry basket, so she carried her stuff in a laundry basket. Somebody had a toolbox. Somebody had a tackle box. Somebody had oh, what were all the different things? Like an easy bake oven. It did get a little distracting, but for the most part, it was fun. It's homecoming week. Then I got to go to a pep fest. Oh, so the staff colors, they try to make the staff wear ugly colors. So they said ketchup and mustard. And I was like, mustard, yellow? That is not even a threat, man. Half my wardrobe is like a gold mustardy color. I love that color. So that wasn't hard. Had that nailed. I was able to do mustard and get, you know, ketchup head to toe. So that was fun. I've loved being back with the kids. It is tiring because I work the first half of the day in elementary with some little kids that need some help and stuff. And boy, that can get tiring pretty quick. Let's do some white letters on this one and we'll zhuzh them. I think I'm going to run out of time here. Be open to whatever comes next. That's what I did. I was telling my coworker the other day, this feels like I had a midlife existential crisis and decided to like go back to work. But I don't regret it. I like it. The kids are fun. And it's so interesting to be in such a small environment. It is entirely different than where I taught before in the cities in like a, you know, big school. And honestly, our school in the cities was in the Twin Cities was fairly small district compared to some of our, you know, huge, like the Minneapolis district is humongous. So our little Brooklyn Center district was small comparatively. I'm trying to decide if I want to, I don't want to put them down here by this because this has already got text on it. So I think I'll put them, I'll just kind of layer them up there. I should put the top one on first. Oh my gosh, now I've got them going in the wrong order. Let's make sure that I write them in there the right way. It's just, it's interesting to be in a smaller district here, but it's fun. It also be open to whatever. There we go. This goes next. It's fun. It's a great group of teachers. It's interesting to see how much different it is when you've got a much smaller environment. There's a lot less electives, but there's also kind of just a lot less hassle, honestly. The kids are so much better behaved here. Like I was just telling somebody, you know, on whatever you think is your worst day here, boy, I've got stories. Although our administrator came from the Twin Cities too, so she kind of knows. Our principal and our superintendent. I like the way the front of that looks, but I feel like it needs something on the back. So let us find quickly let's do blue maybe. Yeah, let's do this. Nothing like it ever before written. Whatever somebody writes on the back of this tag better be just profound, right? Because nothing like it's ever been written. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me, even though I will be putting out videos a little less because I'm working, though I anticipate, you know, summer coming, and I will be back to tons of videos during the summer. But when I've got little breaks, I'm still creating, so we'll still hang out, guys. We'll still hang out. Okay, so let's review our tags that we've made. Let's see. These are the ones I made. And here's the ones we made. So we made this lovely. We made our little pull-out one. This will look cute, you know, on the edge of a page. We'll see this stuff hanging out. That'll be lovely. We made our bright red one, which actually now in the grand scheme of things kind of blends in because we toned it down quite a bit. And it's got interest on the back, and it's got interest on the back. There we go. It feels like I've been chatting for an hour and a half. Probably I have. And all we did was make 4 tags, but that's okay. It was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you consider going and picking up some of Tracie's kits. These kits are fantastic. Again, I will have them linked down in the description box below. I'm going to keep crafting, and maybe I will post, you know, the tags as I make them on Instagram. I'm also trying to be a TikToker. I'm trying to I've put a couple things on TikTok. So if you guys are on TikTok, go find me over there. I'll try to remember to link that down below too. I only have a couple things up, but maybe I'm trying. It's a whole different video format. It's for this generation that has an attention span of 2.4 seconds. So it's hard to like click, fast forward, whatever. Think small, but this kind of project would actually work well to put on there. Anyway, I will try to post them as I go, and then I will come back and we'll work on, you know, doing some pages. I think I'm going to do some fast flow stitching around the edges of some pages for these books. And because, you know, again, I just, Louisa Heinzel, I have been rewatching some of her older videos, and she has a video when Tracie and Louisa and a whole bunch of people, Joy DeFee, did a fast flow stitching collaboration maybe like a year ago, and I was rewatching that and thought, oh, that would be awesome for this book. So I think I'm going to do some of that. So I'll maybe make a video when I do that too, and we can kind of walk through my process and kind of taking bits and pieces from all of their collaboration. So anyway, I hope that you guys had a good time crafting with me today. I hope that you got a chance to do some crafting, or that I'm maybe just playing in the background of your crafting or enjoying your day. I hope that you have a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening or middle of the night, whatever time it is, on whatever side of this wonderful planet of ours that you live on. And until I see you guys next time, stay safe and take care. And God bless you. Bye, guys.